All right, looks like the timer is up. How's everyone doing?
Not so good.
Just trying to get the problems at the the last. So
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had the
me
same
too.
issue.
Yeah, I'm on the
Yeah.
last cell. Did everybody go through the setup for the G Cloud, making sure the buckets and everything were set up appropriately?
I hope so. I thought I did, but
Yeah, it was complaining about the region. So for me,
Yeah.
so
Same
I
old
don't know how
Google
to,
Cloud problem.
yeah.
I ended up putting everything in US Central one because it looked like Vertex is most available there. So,
Yeah.
See, so when I looked at the page, it didn't show central. So I used something different, but maybe that wasn't the right
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah. So let's how do you guys like the Vertex?
If it works.
All right. Well,
did you get it to work? Or? Yeah.
not yet. Yeah. And it's weird because I do have the project. The error that I got at the end was let me just start sharing my screen. 1 second.
Did you get no project ID could be determined at the very
Yeah, same
Same
error.
I've got this because I had a Google Cloud set up a couple of years ago, and all of the environment was set up for me. I got to make sure I don't get charged with another crazy bill tonight, because I have had that at Google, and I have to. Google's not easy to get the charges reversed. Just FYI.
Oh, Google is not easy. Yep, exactly. Google is not easy because they have to run through, like, it has to be approved, and you have to explain the reason, and it's not as a smooth process as AWS
Or Azure.
or Azure. You've done that through Azure before?
I've
Okay.
had all three of them. Yeah, Google's an interesting company. I can share my own perspective on that. It's a different story. Yeah, let's try to solve this because they use a stupid example, that stupid Calmer penguins, the wing flapper size to distinguish between types of penguins. It's a very small, simple data set. I would have preferred the kind of AWS example, which is more involved. But yeah, the pipeline seems to just, anyway, Wenchang, you can explain far better than I can.
Yeah. It's funny to quick anonymous run Google. They put a survey here.
Yeah,
that is funny.
Yeah, all things.
So Wen-Chen, you just chose US as the region?
Yeah, so I chose the multi-region, and I mean, at least I have this here, so I'm sure this is coming through. So the bucket's fine. Are you guys having the bucket? Because this is showing US, so I just put it US.
Default, when you set up a new bucket, for buckets, S3, I think it defaults for us in the US, it defaults to multi-region.
Yeah. So are you guys having this the data pushed in and the .py files?
Yeah, I'm taking a look.
The data.
Yeah, then the regions should be fine. What is this API?
The API, you have to open a session. So top right, it looks like an icon of a terminal. It's the fourth icon from the top right, all the way up. One check. Keep going to your left, move a little bit to your left, a little more, two more, one more. Yeah, there you go. Click that. That'll agree, and it'll open up the terminal on the bottom. And there you go. And of course, with the terminal, you can run all sorts of commands.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Um, it's interesting that I have the request here, but it says the project ID wasn't found. That is interesting because I had 67 requests. All right. So, let's go through this, right? And so first of all, we're just installing, the packages, and now the tutorials all have the 0.30 for the TFX pipeline, and the usual basically restart runtime because for some reason Colab just can't handle this. It's too much for Colab to handle. And so we have to restart the runtime, and yeah, but all usual stuff. And this, so we would have to authenticate the notebook if we're running this on Colab. So we had to do that. If you're on AI platform notebooks, authenticate with Google Cloud before running the next section, by running Google Cloud or G Cloud auth login. So G Cloud is basically, I believe it's the well, it's like the command line interface for Google Cloud. And for AWS, it's AWS, basically. You just type in AWS, and yeah, so let me see if I have G Cloud configured on my Terminator. My terminal, not Terminator. Okay, so G Cloud. Oh, I don't. G2. I have AWS. Oh. I don't have that. That's weird. Maybe another terminal. Configure. Yes. For some reason, I don't have that command. And then right now, but let me just move on. Okay, so but this is basically G Cloud is the command line interface for Google Cloud, and allows you to do many things. And if you don't want to go through the console interface, then Google Clouds helps you to do many things by just on the terminal. Okay. Then we printed that TFX version, set up variables. So this is where you set up the Google Cloud project. Now, I thought I set up this, and you gotta have the project ID, right, instead of project name. So this is where you get the project ID, and this is project name. So, and if you go to the dashboard page, it should show, okay, basically my project ID is Vertex AI Test 322001. And that's what I typed in, 322001, Google Cloud region. Oh, maybe it's the Google Cloud region. So I typed in probably the region for the bucket name rather than the region for perhaps.
Click on that, the Vertex AI
Okay.
locations. Yeah, but that's kind of weird too. It
You
shows
got
the
it.
different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do this.
Yeah.
But look
That's
above
simple.
Wenchang before
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah.
They had something else.
Okay.
Maybe right there. Go up just a little. In the other direction. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right there. You see how they specify? Do you have to fully qualify it like that, or just
You
U.S.
said
Central?
you should
The second one.
second one. Okay, redefine point. Yeah, so basically if you're calling the API, then you want to specify that.
Oh, okay, but so now we should just use US Central 1.
If your Vertex AI API has that location set up. So when you set up this, you should know where your location is. Let's check out where we are when it comes to
See, I thought that meant you have to run where Vertex is currently established.
yeah, I think I had to pick the region. US Central 1. There you go.
Okay.
So I had to pick that. And I think it's probably a default as well. Let me close this for now. US Central 1. Yeah, I think, yeah, so let's see. Yep, pipelines, US Central 1. That's all. I believe I picked that. US Central 1. So maybe let's try that.
Yeah, it doesn't return an error regardless of what you set it to there.
Oh, it's still returning the same error.
It right at the end. All
At
I
the
did was
end.
change it. Yeah, I still got the same error even if I
Got
changed
it.
it.
That's exactly what I did too, read
Okay.
US 1 and still got that same error. And I can see a little bit more of the pipeline. But anyway, we'll get there. Yeah, that pipeline gets generated.
Yeah, same thing. No project ID could be determined. Oh, you do. Oh, now it's a different error. Okay, it's different error. Now it's the permission. So now it's the permission error. We need to create a service account that has the permission. So that's a different error. Previously, I was just not having the right region. Okay, but let's go through this very quickly. So let's keep going on this. So we're defining the pipeline name and we're defining a pipeline route. Okay, basically with the pipeline name and the GCS bucket name. So that's where the bucket detail comes in. I guess that's the 1 second. The pipeline route, the GS, pipeline route. So if we click into that,
Yeah.
I guess it's not in the bucket. It should be in here. So, did someone want to say something? Okay. All right. So wait, it is in the GS, but I guess it's not showing up as pipeline route because we didn't run that. Pipeline one, we only have the, oh, it's right here, pipeline module. Pipeline module, GCA. Bucket name, pipeline route. So we only have the pipeline, we only have this rather than this pipeline route. We have the data route. We don't have this. So that's something we don't have because the model didn't get served, I guess. Prepare example data. Now we're just copying the data set from TensorFlow's, I guess, public GS bucket to the data route we specified and using the GS util command. And we talked about this penguin data set a long time ago. And so I don't want to go through that again. And now we're just taking a quick look at the CSV file using that command. And now we're just creating the pipeline, the trainer module file, penguin trainer.py. And this is basically, TFX stuff that we went through in the TFX sessions. So we have 4 features: the common length, common depth, flipper length, body mass, and the label key of species. We're basically classifying again, the penguin species based on their features, their the common length and the flipper length and body mass and common depth. It's a similar data set to, I guess, iris data sets. And okay, we have the feature spec variable here, and we have an input function. If input fn, remember input fn, it's something that basically the TFX components can take in, right? Generate features and labels for training. And we have the make Keras model. We're basically compiling a model here, defining what the model consists of. We're having 2 dense layers of 8 units with the activation function of ReLU, and an output layer of dense 3 units. Then we compile the model. We're using the Atom 0.01 as the learning rate and sparse categorical cross entropy from logits equals to true. We're using the accuracy as the model metric. The run fn will be called by trainer. If you remember the run fn function, and the process fn, right? But we don't have the transformer or TFX transform components in this simple example or tutorial. It's just the run fn, and we only have basically, okay, the run fn, and we have the schema generated from here, and we have the train data sets that takes in the input fn. Okay, so input fn is not called by another component, it's just directly feeding into this, and so that it will prepare the data for us within the run fn function. And we're taking the trim files, data accessor, we're taking the schema, and we're taking the batch size as a hyperparameter for the training job. And we're using 20 rows as per batch, and evaluation by batch size. So for evaluation data set, we're using 10 rows of data per batch. And we're obviously doing mini batch updates. And for the evaluation data set, we just cover that, evaluation batch size 10, same schema, evaluation files, calling the model and calling model.fit within the run fn function, and then model set.save. Okay, fn args. Let's look at fn args. Did I miss something? Where is fn args? Okay, fn args is a parameter that gets passed in and it holds the args used to train the model as name value pairs. But what is fn args? The results of the training should be saved in fnrx.serving model directory. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so fnrx is probably passing as another name when it gets executed. Now we are basically pushing this file. So this is the command that pushes this file directly to the buckets, and this is where it is, right? So this was just pushed into the bucket. All right, so now we have we only have 3 components, and now we just want to compile them together in a create pipeline function. And for those of you who were not familiar with this kind of syntax, it's basically, it just means it's internal method. It's not supposed to be called publicly, and it's a private method, internal method. That's what it is. When it has a underscore in front of a function's name. Okay, so we have our good old CSV example gen, and we're just generating the data from the data root. Okay, and our data root is probably the GS bucket, and we have the trainer right here, and that would be calling the run fn function. Okay, we must be passing in the module file. Yes, the module file is the penguin trainer.py. Okay, and again, it's the parameter's name, but the parameter's name is not necessarily, the actual variable's name that gets passed in. So, but the module file should be the penguin module .py. Okay, so we have our training args, evaluation args. So we have training steps of 100 steps, meaning we're updating our weights 100 times, and we're doing 20 rows per batch. That would mean 100 times 20, 2,000 rows of data gets trained. Evaluation 5 steps. Okay, and each step is each batch, right? So just FYI, and now we have the pusher. The pusher component will push to. Okay, we have the trainer that outputs the model. We pass that in directly from the trainer, and we have the destination as the tfx.proto pushes file system. We have the serving model directory as the destination where we can push the models through. And now we have all the components compiled together in a list, and calling that components. And then we call the tfx.dsl.pipeline with the pipeline name passed in, pipeline routes, which is where the pipeline should be located, and the components, which is this list. And it will basically, once you execute this function, it will start orchestrating orchestrating these components or executing these components continuously. So run the pipeline on Vertex pipelines. We used local DAG runner, okay, which runs on local environment. In simple TFX pipeline tutorial, TFX provides multiple orchestrators to run your pipeline. In this tutorial, we will use the Vertex pipelines together with the Kubeflow v2 DAG runner. Provides multiple orchestrators to run your pipeline. And now we're using the Vertex pipeline together with Kubeflow v2. So Kubeflow is the pipeline orchestration tool that we didn't get to talk about, unfortunately, but it is, you know, something that is also developed by Google, and it's within the ecosystem of Kubernetes, and but Kubeflow pipeline specifically deals with you know, machine learning pipelines like these, and when you define a runner to actually run the pipeline, you will compile the pipeline into a pipeline definition format using TFX APIs. So this is basically the runner, TFX, the orchestration.experimental Kubeflow v2 DAG runner, config equals to that. So now we're just calling that as a configuration, and we're outputting this as a file name, which is pipeline name plus pipeline.json. So that the output file name is a JSON file. Following function will write the pipeline definition to pipeline definition file. So this actually basically, you know, runs the pipeline, or at least it calls it. Yeah, and it's not outputting anything. We're passing the pipeline name, pipeline roots. We're having the data roots. We're having the module file again as the trainer module file. Remember, I said module file is exactly the trainer module file, so we're just basically passing that in right now. And serving model directory. So let's check the directory. So this is where we serve our model. Okay, so it should be GS bucket name, which is Vertex AI test 0804-2021, then serving model, then Penguin Vertex pipelines, which we do not have for now because we don't have the pipeline running successfully. Yeah, so we don't have serving model folder, which is here. Okay, so but this is Google, and I was just checking this variable, and it will, okay, it will write the pipeline definition file. Okay, so okay, so now we have this pipeline definition file that's saved locally. Right here, Penguin Vertex pipelines _ pipeline.json. So and display name, Penguin Vertex pipelines, labels, TFX runner, Kubeflow v2, TFX version, pipeline specs, input definition, output configuration, the schema, description, push model, parameters, model run, artifacts. Okay, bunch of pipeline definition. And remember, we did something that's similar within AWS SageMaker. We had a lot of variables that we had to define within, you know, the parameter float, parameter integer, parameter string. You know, then we had to put all these parameters together and pass that into the pipeline steps, if you recall what we did. Okay, so and the next step is where we all had problems, and it's now calling the KFP Kubeflow pipeline.v2.google import client. We're just calling the client.aip platform client project ID. That's using project ID is this. project region is that. So it is also possible that we don't have Kubeflow API enabled, which was not specified here. So let's do that. If that could be a reason. Is that V? Huh. We only have 1.4.1. I thought it was V2. All right, but let's configure that. Hopefully that will give us permission, because we do need Kubeflow pipelines to run this. And let's also double check our service count. So it's requesting US Central 1. Okay, so that is matching what we were seeing, Terrence, right? This link
Yes.
URL, yeah. In location US Central 1 pipeline vertex return, you don't have the permission to act as service count or may not exist. You don't have permission. Okay. Create cluster.
And actually, I just did the import of just that one command and it was successful. So I think it's breaking down after that.
Which one?
The command from KFP.v2.
Yeah.
I just did that one command and it was successful.
Yeah, the import should be fine.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so maybe you don't have to configure that if the import is fine.
No, that's just importing the library,
Okay.
which wouldn't, you know, connect to what we have here, unless you execute something. Yeah, so it looks like we need a cluster. That's gonna charge me.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, database storage. I can't just deploy that. That is interesting. I have no idea why this is not. I mean, okay. That is going to take some time to configure. I mean, because it would need storage, which I have that, but I don't have Cloud SQL instance connection either. I don't have database. Why is it under the marketplace? Cloud AI platform. All right, so let's double check our service count to see if it has the Vertex AI permission. I probably didn't check that. Is that the 1402368 402368? Yep. So let me see if I can add permissions and current access. Rows. So I do have Vertex AI Service Agent. Hmm. Anyone else had any luck with this?
I've been poking around the same thing, just not doing it where you're doing it like a good software engineer, chasing down what's the error code and I'm trying with other things and I have no luck. I think you're on the right page. I think the problems are with the IAMs.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's permissions, because I'm still getting the same. It's a permissions error, not necessarily a Kubeflow error. I am attached to a virtual an instance, but I'm still getting permissions errors.
Yeah. I wish they can make at least a tutorial easier. But yeah, that's what Google is. It's
There you go. Is this where you would add a permission?
Go ahead. Do you want to share?
No, I just blew mine away and starting from scratch.
Oh,
To share. Let me be a little more careful and not share things I should not be sharing. All right. No, so okay, great. Okay, I instanced. I blew it away. Sorry. Sorry.
no worries.
Yeah.
Compute developer. It's the compute developer.
I feel like this, maybe it's just shiny new toy. The Google Cloud Platform has got a lot of warts in terms of just getting it to work, but the pipeline seemed a little bit easier to put together only because when it said just set these instance variables up and it would kick off and you define how the pipeline would be run, and then you create that pipeline.json file, and I downloaded that, what you were reading through in one line, but I downloaded and looked at all of it, and literally it's like a 30-line JSON outlining every variable that you can in the pipeline workflow.
Mm-hmm.
It just kicks it off. As long as you have all your security permissions and your what you're allowed to use at whatever free tier or paid tier, it seems to run. So it's from a data engineering side perspective, GCP feels a little.
Oh, I ran through. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Nothing. Ignore me. Let's just share.
No worries. Yeah, it ran through. So sorry. Yeah, it ran through. So that was the error. I wish they could have freaking
what did
told
you end
us
up having to do?
and just grant access. So identify your service accounts, whatever the error message was, from here, and go to your Google Cloud Platform, go to your IAM admin, go to your service account, and it should be this one, whatever ones that you created, click into that and permission, and make sure that one matches the one that's in the error message, obviously. And so now note that you have one class services, one compute. So in my error message, I made sure it's this one that's in the error message. So it was the whatever number I had dash compute at developer.jsservicecount.com. Do you guys have also the same thing, dash compute?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So copy that name, click run access, and just type in this. So I learned that from debugging like some problems from TFX. I believe it was another problem I had to debug. But anyway, it was serving the AI model, serving the model on AI platform, and it was the ML engine problem, and I had to do this. And now you're basically adding different rows, and I just basically went hardcore on this, which you shouldn't do in the production environment. I added Vertex AI service agents, and I added owner as well. But I am the owner, so technically it is correct, but usually you want to be more specific. So add that in. So basically granting this service account more rows, right? So going back to IAM, the concept of IAM is you're trying to basically adding more service rows or resource rows to that service account as a quote unquote, a user, a user account, granting rows to a user account. And in this case, it's this user account. And that's not having the permission. So search Vertex. So add Vertex, and I mean, I just wanted to try. So I used owner because that would grant me pretty much everything, full access to all resources. So, but try this maybe only and see if that runs through, and probably will. But if not, then just try the owner. That should give you access to all resources. Now, then go back and rerun this, and that should run through, and click this, see the pipeline job here. And that will basically get you through this. So now you should have the pipeline, and it's still running. I don't know why it's still running, because it shouldn't take time to train the freaking Penguin data sets. But maybe it's the container is
It's still running after 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe click that view job. It's still running. Yeah, that's weird. And it's not failing. All right, I guess we'll just wait a couple more minutes, but let me know if you guys are running through. Is anyone running through fine?
For some reason, I'm getting a 404 error. So I had a different.
What is the 404 error?
So when it's trying to request the, I guess the endpoint, Yeah, but it also says no project ID to be determined.
Yeah, I mean, it says here still.
Yeah,
So this doesn't stop you from running.
oh, that doesn't happen. Yeah,
Yeah, but what is the 404 error?
when it's trying to request so US Central 1, AI Platform, Google APIs. So it's the, I guess, the endpoint that's built up from the pipeline definition, I'm guessing.
Wait, can you share screen?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that just means you, it hasn't even found the project or the region. So that means your region or your project name is wrong,
Okay,
most likely.
gotcha.
So I would go back up to where you define these two variables. So take out the dash, US Central 1.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And go. And you got to reset the
I gotta
project
run.
configuration. Yeah.
Yeah. Just go.
There you go.
All right.
Run through.
Sweet.
Now you can just click that link. Yep. All right. So I have now, let me see if this is running. Yes, that is weird. Something is going on. It says we can stop it. So that means it is running. Damn, it's just 3 components and 28 kilobytes of data. What is going on? Let me know if you guys are having the same issue. But anyone else having trouble even running this through? Let's debug it.
Yeah, I I got the same error as everyone else on that last cell. And when I went to my service accounts, I didn't have anything listed. So
Which would mean you need to create a service account within that project.
okay, so I created one and I think I granted permission to it.
Can you
but-
share screen?
Yeah, one sec.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That is a service account.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I'll go back to my. So this was the error that we all got, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I remember you matched a number.
Yeah, so it's A645002108265. That is your service account. Yeah.
Okay. And then so when I went to service accounts,
Yeah,
I
you got to
created-
click into that. Click this email. Click in. No.
Oh,
Click that's on your page. Yep. Click this.
so this one.
No. Go back to these the Google Cloud Computing
Okay.
and click on that. Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Permissions. You see this A645? That's the one. So yeah.
Where is that?
Can you just copy the 864 right on top. That should be the one. Yeah, just copy this.
Okay.
And go to Grant Access, click Grant Access.
Oh, and then just paste it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And click Service Account Admin. Drop down. Oops.
Yeah, that's what I got as well.
Huh.
Yeah. So that is the error I'm getting to.
Interesting.
Okay.
It
Yeah. When I
must be associated with an active Google account. Oh, does that? Huh. So you, it could also mean your account is not active. So click on your project. So go out. Yeah, and click on your My First Project. Yep, right here.
okay.
So yeah, you probably need to create a new project. It might be that reason, but I would let's not do that first, but let's go back to billing. I mean, if you want to stop sharing, that's fine, but I would double check on billing to see if your account is active.
Okay. I created it while we were on break during the time. So
Oh,
maybe
got
it
it.
didn't maybe it just hasn't
Because
like clicked.
yeah, you would have to put down a credit card, and it has to
Yeah.
you have to confirm something,
Oh,
and
maybe
yeah, in your email, I think it. Oh, right here on top, it says activate. Right here.
Oh, right there. Totally
Right
missed
here,
that.
activate your full accounts.
Okay, yeah, I put my credit card in.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go. Okay, so do that again.
Okay, so we copied
You got
this.
$100 to use up. So over 91 days. Please
Yeah.
use it up.
So what do we do? Grant access,
Yes.
paste. Okay,
All right,
and
just
then
it'll probably take a bit of
Um,
time. Yeah.
okay.
Which you just activate. But that should be the that should be the where the error is. Yeah.
got it. Okay, cool. So I
Yeah.
will stop sharing and okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So that's what happens. Apparently you just need to click
Yeah, the
top
giant
right button.
activate button in the corner. Got it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so my pipeline is still running. This is so strange. But oh, it ran through the first step, I guess. No, it still says 0/3 steps completed. Expand artifacts. So it's not even done through the first step yet. Damn. What is going on? Something is wrong with this. I don't know what it is, and it's still running. It's not giving me errors. It's been 15 minutes. Damn. Well, I mean, I hope I'm not being charged crazy for this 15 minutes of doing nothing. I'm sure it's not going to be charging me crazy, but still, like, really, like, can't even run through this. That is crazy. View logs. Huh. It just says waiting for job to be provisioned. Wow. So it's still being provisioned.
Could be because it's giving it to you on a free tier. So it's sort of like AWS Spot Instance.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Still being provisioned. Wow. Wow. So we have, I had a pipeline already run successfully. What is it? Custom jobs, training pipelines. I have one pipeline running here. Okay, nothing. I have no models. Let's check. I have my examples as artifacts. So the data is being generated from into, I guess, tf.examples. But let me check my bucket to see if I have more stuff. Oh, there you go. So I have pipeline root. I have this. What is that? CSV example gen executor output.json. Okay. Okay, so I have more stuff now running through. Okay, so all right, let me double check this. So we are getting some logs, you know, so that's good. I was thinking, you know, we don't have anything, but at least you can view the logs and view the jobs. So let's refresh it again to see what's going on. 17 minutes. Let's check the logs again. View logs. We need to be damn. I don't know what is going on. Training. Yeah. Is everyone else getting the same thing? Like,
Yeah, I have the same error that she had. And the account is activated, so I don't. Oh, you mean this? No, I'm not getting this at all.
oh, okay. David, are you having this?
Yeah, mine's kind of the same. I think yours is maybe a little further along.
Oh, do you? Oh, at least I had this, I guess. Is that what it is?
I guess
You
I'm
don't,
in the
do
same
you
boat.
have this?
I have examples kind of showing. Yeah, that's showing up at this point.
Okay. All right. So, Heather and Terrence, maybe you want to try again to see if it's going through.
No, not for me. I haven't been able to assign the permissions because I get the same error that she has.
Got it. Oh, I see. I see. Not even the permissions got through. Okay. So you might want to refresh your page and do that assignment again. Yeah, because new accounts will probably take a little bit of time to get activated. That is to be expected.
No, mine was already activated.
Oh, yours was already activated, but why? But you had the same error?
Same error. Yeah.
It had the same error that it was not associated with an active Google account?
Correct.
Huh. So that's interesting. Do you want to share your screen
Sure, I can do that.
while we run this?
Let's see. I guess you just share chat.
You know, if this
Oh, I
pipeline
see
takes
it. Yeah, I see it.
if this pipeline takes half an hour. Oh, I have one step completed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something. Well, if this pipeline takes 30 minutes to run through, I don't know if I'm gonna use it, to be honest. It shouldn't take 30 minutes. That's just crazy.
So same thing here. I'll just grab this one.
Yeah, grab this one.
Yeah. I
Copy
already
paste.
have it. So, and then I go here. I don't have anything else. I just do add grant, and of course, plug it in. Drop down. Boom. So,
So can you go to your IAM?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, why don't you go to service account and create another service account? I don't know if that would work, but just create another service account. Go to on your left panel.
Mhm.
Actually click this SAML. 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, click that. Got it. Okay. Yeah, go back up. Just create another service account.
Just give it a name.
Yeah, give it a name.
Okay. Guess it doesn't really matter. Okay. Create and continue.
Mm-hmm. Just say vertex AI administrator. Yeah, right. The first one. Continue.
Done. Just go ahead and say done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, did you enable the Vertex API? Search Vertex API.
Just do a search
Search bar.
here.
Yep.
Okay.
Vertex. Vertex AI. Yep. Click Vertex AI. So, okay, so looks like you did you enable the API on this page? You probably did, right?
Not that I know of. No.
Okay. All right, go back to the IAM. Can you click on any of the tabs here? Pipelines, click on pipelines or training or whatever. Yeah, you should have access to this. So go back to IAM.
Service accounts again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it did
so
create the one that we
so
just
this
did.
one, yeah, so I would go to click on service accounts. Click at the bottom, service account, project test one. Yeah, click permissions, current access. So now let's copy paste that in. The other one, yep. Huh. Must be associated email address. Let's Google this. Email addresses. Email addresses and domain must be associated. An active Google account. And Heather, have you tried again, and are you still having the same issue?
Yeah, I tried refreshing and a few times, and I'm still getting that same error.
Got it. Okay.
And you know, I'll just dig into it. I don't want to hold
Yeah.
you up.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we know it's related to permissions. We have to just figure out what what the real
Yeah.
scenario is.
Yeah. And my pipeline just ran through successfully. So
Awesome.
let me start sharing again, and we can, yeah. So this ran through. It took 21 minutes. Okay.
Wow.
It's ridiculously long, to be honest with you. But I mean, think about it. We had a big data set with SageMaker and a BERT model, and a bunch of full pipeline steps, and that took us what, 40 minutes. This took us 20 minutes with kilobytes of data. In a very, very simple model. So I don't know what the heck is going on. But here we have it, 3 steps completed. And we have our training done here. We have our models. Do we have our models here? Okay, we don't. But we should have our models served in the bucket. Yep, serving model. So that is our serving model that was just generated from the pipeline. And now we can probably create models. Managed training method, model details, training container. Oh, this is specifically creating a model to train, which is not, but we are using a pipeline to do this. So that doesn't matter. But now we just created endpoints. Is that what it is? Endpoints are machine learning model. Don't have any active unities for model to create an endpoint. Huh. Can I just import model name, test model, continue? I can just import the model. So I can just import the model. I don't need to create a model. Our detailed training container, computer pricing, prediction container, start training. Okay, so, but yeah, so apparently I guess we just need to import a model and create endpoints, and then you can just serve from there. But I don't know why we just didn't have that here, because on SageMaker we would, and it's connected. Experiments. So, okay, so this is the experiments and trials in SageMakers, which will probably track your lineage, your artifacts. And we have some tensor boards, pipelines. So we have our pipelines, notebooks. So that's SageMaker Studio, right? We can just spin up a new instance if we want to. Instead, we're using Colab, right? Colab as interface to spin up the resources. But obviously, you can use this the notebook within the Vertex AI, and this is something that we've gone through as well, right? The labeling tasks. They're even probably they're called similar names, labeling jobs, labeling workforces, and this it's called labeling tasks, right? It's pretty much the same thing, like features, notebooks, training, experiments. On this is notebooks, training, inference, right? Endpoints, models. except AWS has more stuff, obviously. And yeah, I think Vertex pretty much is similar stuff, right? Similar stuff. And we have our pipeline right here, which we can visualize. So that is certainly nice, right? Kubeflow gives us a nice visualization of what's going on, but SageMaker offers the same thing, right? We have that visualization as well of different steps. But I think this is nicer than the SageMaker visualization, but it's somehow taken tremendous amount of time for small data set and a simple model. Okay, that is not good. And it seems like SageMaker Clarify gives us way more insights, I would imagine, because I didn't see any outputs from here. But it's not giving us reports, at least not for the tutorial that they give us. And we have a feature store right here. So I wish they could have a more comprehensive tutorial which would cover more features of Vertex pipeline, but it does seems like it's still, you know, less stuff than AWS SageMaker.
Wenchang,
Yeah.
I tapped into, just start following along, and I sent a link to a YouTube video from a few months ago. I remember this lady, I can't remember if I'm connected to her on LinkedIn, walking through building end-to-end solutions in Vertex AI. So this is, think of it as similar to the AWS pipeline solution. And if you read through the comments for this particular video, rather than just playing the video, and you point and you direct yourself to Google Platform GitHub repo, and they have AI platform samples. And they walk through some use cases and solutions that they've built, similar to what we did with AWS, using Vertex. But again, I don't think there's enough time to just go through it in today's session, but there seems to be a growing set of documentation, just like what Chris Fergley and Antabart had started to build with their book.
Yeah. I wish they could, or I hope GCP could do more tutorials or comprehensive tutorials like that. Don't leave math to your audience. Seriously, that is a very good principle to follow for any products. Don't leave mathematics, don't leave math to your audience figuratively. Yeah. All right. I mean, that's it. That's it for everything. We've had a good run. I think, and you know, I think it, you know, I would encourage everyone to spend more time with SageMaker or Vertex, whatever is your preference, and just literally build a project out of that. And again, I think for SageMaker pipelines, I think the example we ran through was pretty good. And you know, from a tutorial perspective, and just repackage it, you know, build it more, build something on top of that, use it, you know, with another Amazon review data set or some other reviews, I don't know, but like build, you know, just getting more familiar with it, packaging the codes to a production level, and refactoring the codes, playing around with the codes, and go from there. So yeah, don't stop here. This is just getting you guys started with everything. Because again, you know, with this sessions in class, we'll never be able to get to ML Ops 3.0 because we're not having the constant inflow of data, which will, you know, which is something that you would need to deal with when you work on a real project. If you know you're in a bigger company, and you would have to deal with a lot more complex scenarios, which means your pipelines would have to be a lot more complex, and that is ML Ops 3.0, which is where we are all moving towards, a way much more automated pipeline for machine learning models. Okay, so anything else? I know we're running out of time, 11:41. Any final comments before we sign off for now?
Oh, just thank you both. For
Yeah,
doing this.
same.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I truly love the deviations. I
Yeah.
think it was beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely is definitely beneficial to me as well. And yeah, thank you everyone as well for joining us. You know, it's been a great run. Yeah, and again, I think we said it at the beginning, we persisted through like 4 months without a stop. I don't think we stopped for any weeks at all. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we had any breaks. And we even persisted through the July 4th week. And yeah, we didn't delay anything. So it was just all powering through every week, spending several hours preparing this before the session. Mash and I usually just sit together and just go through things together and just be ready to talk and things. So yeah, and thank you as well, Mash, for co-hosting this class with me. Really appreciate it.
Wen Chang, you were the brains of the operation.
Thank you. All right. Well, hope you all had fun with Vertex AI and SageMaker and TFX. And we'll certainly, you know, catch up more down the road. You know, ping me or Mash if you have any further questions regarding, you know, career jobs, you know, or any technical things. We'll be more than happy to help. And you know, this is certainly not the last class we're going to host, and I'm sure of it. You know, the next class will be something else that we're interested in. It could be, you know, I was looking at the machine learning design pattern book, you know, and that could be something interesting to cover. The other thing could be like data pipelines, you know, building data pipelines. That is way more commonly used than machine learning pipelines as well, because not every data pipeline will lead to, not every data project is a machine learning project. And you're certainly going to have more data projects than machine learning projects involving machine learning. So yeah, so data pipeline is a huge topic that no one talks about. And you can hardly find any books on Amazon talking about data pipelines. Yeah, and so lots of great stuff to cover in the future. So we'd love to, down the road, maybe in 3 to 6 months, we can pick up something more to talk about.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Again, have a great night. And bye.
You're the same. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
At all, stay safe.